we're looking at Mac 1140 pre-calculus worksheet that is dividing polynomials with synthetic division. We're going to start with question 1, which is to determine if d of x is a factor of f of x. So to determine if d of x is a factor of f of x, you have to use synthetic division and your remainder has to be 0. So when we set up our synthetic division, our d of x, which is x plus 2, is going to be on the outside of the division, and the inside of the argument that's going to be divided by is the 3x to the 4th argument, which is f of x. So once you have that copied down, you can go ahead and start dividing out. What you want to do is you want to look at your first term in your d of x, and you want to figure out what you have to multiply your first term by to get to the first term in your f of x. So we can see that we have x and we have to get to 3x raised to the power of 4. We automatically know that we need to multiply by number 3 to get our x with a 1 coefficient to a 3, and then we need to multiply it by x raised to the power of 3, which is x cubed, because x raised to the power of 1 times x raised to the power of 3, you add the exponent, so you'll have 1 plus 3, and that gives you x to the power of 4, which is what we want. Now you multiply this by each other, and that'll get you 3x fourth. And with division, you always put a subtraction sign for your new argument below so that you're able to cancel everything out. Now you take your second term and you multiply it also by what you need to multiply the first term by. So you'll get 2 times 3 is 6. It has no x value, so it's going to be x raised to the power of 3. And then you just cancel everything out. This ends up canceling out. When you distribute that negative to here, this becomes a negative 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. It's a positive x cubed. Now we repeat the same step for the next set. So you're going to drop all of these down, which gets you x cubed plus 3x squared minus x minus 4. So now you do the same process. What do we need to multiply x by to get to x cubed? Since the coefficients are both 1, then you're just going to leave it as 1. And it's positive, so it's going to be a plus sign. And then we know that we have to multiply by x squared, because, again, x plus x raised to the power of 1 times x raised to the power of 2 gives you x raised to the power of 3. So we're going to drop that down. Don't forget that subtraction sign. Multiply the 2 times the x squared. That gets you 2x squared. There's nothing left. So you gotta distribute that negative out, so you get negative x cubed, which cancels out our x cubes, and you get negative 2x squared, and that will give you 1x squared. Remaining, drop down what's left, negative x minus 4. Repeat the process. What times x will get you x squared? That's going to be a positive x. So when you multiply that out, don't forget that negative, you're going to have x squared plus 2x. Do that. Distribute that negative. So then here you're going to get a negative 3x, drop down the 4. What do we have to multiply to get negative 3x? That's going to be negative 3. And then multiply that out. That gets you 3x. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. When you distribute that negative again, you're going to have a positive 3x and a positive 6. The 3x's cancel out, but you're left with a remainder of 2. So in this case, your remainder is 2, and since it's not 0, then d of x is not a factor of f of x. So moving on to question 2, it's the same exact instructions. We're trying to determine if d of x is a factor of f of x using synthetic division. So let's set it up the same way we set it the last time, with our d of x here and our f of x in the argument. Let's use the same steps as last time to divide out. So what gets x to 3x fourth? That is going to be, you have to multiply it by 3 to get your coefficients the same. You need to multiply it by x cubed to get the same exponent power. So you drop that down. X times 3x cubed is going to be 3x fourth. 2 times 3x cubed is going to be, remember that 2 is negative, so it's going to be negative 6x cubed. And since there's nothing else to multiply by, you just determine that out, distribute that negative sign. So when you distribute out, the 3x fourth becomes negative, and this becomes positive. So our 3x fourth cancels out, and you are left with a positive 3x cubed. Bring down everything that's remaining. Repeat the process. What do we have to multiply x by to get to 3x cubed? We need to multiply it by a positive 3x squared. Then you multiply that out, that'll get you 3x cubed. Negative 2 times positive 3 is negative 6, and then you have x cubed. Then we're going to go ahead and distribute that negative sign out, and that'll get you negative 3x cubed and a positive 6x squared. If these cancel out, negative 9 and positive 6 leaves you with negative 3x cubed. Drop down what you have left. And again, we're going to repeat this process again. That's a lot of what synthetic division really is. So x to get to 3x squared, you're going to multiply by a negative because now your 3 is a negative. So you're going to multiply with negative 3 and just one x. So that'll get you, put that negative sign there, negative 3x cubed plus 6x. Distribute out that negative, so you'll get a positive 3x squared, and then you'll get a negative 6x. Those will cancel out, so it'll give you negative x minus 2. You have to drop that down. Again, same process. So x times negative 1 will get you to negative x. Put that there, so you'll have negative x plus 2. Distribute out that negative, that'll get you positive that, negative 2. So that'll get you, cancels out, and a remainder of negative 4. Since your remainder is negative 4 is not equal to 0, so d of x is not a factor of f of x. So now let's move on to question 3. Same instructions, determining if d of x is a factor of f of x using synthetic division. Let's go ahead and set up the division. So now that we have it set up, we can go ahead and do our synthetic division. What x needs to be multiplied by to get to 4x cubed, you're going to have a coefficient of 4, since it's a coefficient of 1. You're going to have x squared to get to x cubed. So don't forget that negative sign on the outside. You're going to have 4x cubed, and then negative 1 times 4x squared is negative 4x squared. So when you distribute out that negative, you're going to get negative 4x cubed plus 4x squared. That'll cancel that out. And then positive 4 and negative 2 leaves you with positive 2x squared. Drop down what you have left. Repeat. To get x to 2x squared, we have to multiply by positive 2x. Multiply that out, you're going to have a positive 2x squared. Negative 1 times positive 2x gets you negative 2x. Distribute that negative, you'll have a negative 2x squared and a positive 2x. Cancels that out. And then you'll have a 3x remaining. Drop down that negative 3. I have to multiply x times positive 3 to get rid of that 3x. So you'll have a 3x minus 3. When you distribute that negative, these will cancel out, and these will also cancel out, leaving you with a remainder of 0. And since it is 0, this means that d of x is a factor of f of x.